Hey, Kieran, what's up?
Julia, did you hear what they said?
No, what did they say?
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you right now. Meet me in the studio in 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm on my way. I'll see you soon. Welcome back to That's What They Said, an educationally conversational podcast where we address all the things that aren't in the college brochure.
Episode 10, episode 10, episode 10, episode 10. I mean, technically it's episode 11 if you count the trailer, but episode 10, episode 10.
I don't count the trailer. That was just...
It was just a phase.
It was a phase. It was a phase.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count, okay?
It doesn't count.
Guys.
Episode 10. And it's our last episode of the semester.
And of the year.
End of the year, which is crazy.
2025.
I love when things line up such as that. Episode 10 and it's the last one.
Yeah.
Lit. Like,
You know what I
perfect.
hate? Those when people are like, I won't see you till next year.
Oh my God. When they say that to me when I go to bed on New Year's,
Like, I
I'm
can't.
pissed.
See you in 2026, girl.
That joke is tired. It's so
I
tired.
was tired 365 days ago.
Yes. Anyway.
Anyhow.
We're being unique and cool and new and
Oh.
modern and not doing High-Low Buffalo this episode.
Gasp.
We're just going to be talking about our winter break plans since this is the last episode of the semester, so you won't be
Yeah.
able to hear about it until January.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Next year. No kidding.
Okay.
Sorry.
Would you like to give us just like a brief rundown of like
Yeah.
what your winter break will look like?
Yes. So I will be staying in Raleigh. Woo, woo.
Well, you do live here.
This is true, but I'm not going to go back to my parents' house. I'll be in my apartment.
Right.
My plans. I'm going to New York.
Woo.
Next week.
Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you.
Welcome in New York. So I'm leaving next Thursday. I'm very, very excited about it. We're gonna go see an off-Broadway show. We're gonna go see
What
Sam
show? What
Smith.
show?
The play that went wrong. The play that always goes wrong. or
I
something
don't know
like
that.
It's a murder mystery, but like the thing is, there's a bunch of stuff that in the play like goes wrong. Like the props break and people slip and fall, but it's like on purpose. But it's supposed
Yeah.
to look like it's on accident.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard it's really good. I'm very
That's
excited.
silly.
We're gonna go to this like Christmas botanical gardens.
Ooh.
Tons of bagels and pizza's gonna be consumed
Buzz,
and coffee.
buzz.
And we're gonna go see
Buzz.
we already said that we're gonna go see Sam Smith in concert. Weird how that also lined up. Gonna go ice skating in Rockefeller. The gourmet
I'm
hot
gonna go ice
chocolates.
skating.
Like I'm gonna actually like combust. Very excited about that.
Yes.
Christmas I'll be staying in town this year. We're gonna go to my great aunt's for Christmas Day.
Love that girl.
And we're gonna do our own little thing for Christmas Eve at my family's house. I might be going to see Ju for her birthday.
It's true. Birthday.
And then working and sleeping and
The classics.
you know how it is. What about you?
Well, I'm going home this Friday. Woo!
Yay!
And then I am so excited. I'm going dancing Saturday night, swing dancing. And then next Wednesday is the Christmas party for the contra dancers in Wilmington, which I'm so excited for. It's free for all, and it's only $1 for students on normal days. So, woo! Saving that money, y'all.
Yes.
But it's like a potluck, so you bring like something to share
Yeah.
with everyone. And then the new thing they're doing this year is bring like a show and tell item. Because they were like, we want to get to know our
Okay.
dancers better. So like, is there an antique you recently thrifted or like a painting you recently, which is the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I can't even.
I'm very excited. And then my birthday is next Friday? I don't know. It's the 12th.
Sure.
I'm turning 20, which is crazy. And then my mom was like, oh yeah, I'm going to this thing on your birthdays. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
See if I care.
Right. But then the next week I'm having my birthday party, and it's going to be, the invitation says like a hot cocoa party, but it's like a tea party, but it's actually hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I'm going to invite all my friends. Well, I already invited them. And then I'm also inviting my like adult friends. I was telling Kieran I have a lot of friends that are in their like 60s and 70s, so obviously my girls will be coming.
Obviously.
The individual that I'm dating may make an appearance. If they lock in, and if they lock in, and here's a message to you: lock in.
Lock the freak.
Lock
in.
the freak in, girl. Yeah. And then I don't know, we like travel to see all our family during Christmas. So like my dad's side, we'll go see them the weekend before Christmas, and then I have actual Christmas. And my home friends, and I always have a Christmas Eve sleepover. and we get up to see the sunrise on Christmas Eve at the end of our street. So it's like, above the water, and we have a cake for like breakfast at like 7 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's cutie. And then we do like our Secret Santa, and I'll tell you what I made for my Secret Santa because she doesn't listen to the podcast. I got her some other stuff, but the main thing that I made was a deck of tarot cards, but they're all pictures of us or like characters in our lives doing stupid stuff. Like, I don't know. They're just like really like random events that like we reference all the time. Like this one time we went to go get bagels for breakfast and we were all so hungry we almost like ended the friend group. Like we almost broke up. Like that's one of them. I don't know. I think they're going to be really cute. I need to print them out actually. I might do that before we leave the building. But yeah, so that's what I got for my Secret Santa. And then I have this like box that I like covered. I like rhinestone the whole thing myself, which took me actually like an entire day, but it was really fun to put them in. Anyway, so that's that. And then after Christmas I will go to my mom's side to do Christmas with them, and then it's New Year's and we always throw a big New Year's party. You're invited. And then
let's freaking go.
The day after New Year's I will be driving up to Asheville because there's a contra dance that night, and then the day after that I will be going to Montreat for a college conference with my campus ministry, and then I'll come back home for a week, and then I'll come back to school, and then I go skiing like the next weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
All of that, all the things. Some of the like, traditions we have, I'm really excited about for Christmas. Like, so obviously I have like all those random plans, but every year my family, so there's a few things we've always done.
Right.
And that are being like included as year go by. One of them is reindeer food. Every year, me and my family make reindeer food and sprinkle it on the yard the night before on Christmas Eve, and it consists of oats and glitter. And
that is so your
it.
mom.
That's gonna be it, actually.
And does it disappear the next day?
Obviously because the reindeers eat
it.
it.
Right.
So
reindeers named Ruby and Piper.
Reindeers named the weather and Ruby and Piper. And it's always funny because you can see like all the chunks of glitter. And it's like the grass is always like sparkly.
Yum.
I love when we do reindeer food. I don't know why, but I think it's so fun.
Love when we do reindeer food.
Okay. Hey now. Another thing that we always do is me and my mom bake like a gargantuous amount of cookies. We always make like 6 types of cookies, but there's like 24 of each of them, so like doing the math, there's like 200 cookies in our kitchen.
Maybe I could get some of those.
Yeah, I always gift them up and give them to my friends. So
Yay.
I'll bring them to you when I come see you at some point. But we always do like hot chocolate cookies, chocolate chip, chocolate peanut butter, gingerbread, something. Sometimes we do chocolate covered cherry, or we'll do like mint chocolate chip. Or like snickerdoodle. There's like some floating.
I love a snickerdoodle.
I love a snickerdoodle cookie, and I feel like that's not talked about enough.
Yeah.
Yes. I also love an oatmeal and raisin.
I love oatmeal and raisin.
I
love that.
And that's my truth.
Anyway.
Oh, I'm also going to be making my kitchen sink cookies, which was one of my favorite cookies
everything
ever.
in it.
I always do caramel, like chunks of caramel, chocolate chips, pretzels, and toffee pieces.
Ooh.
So good.
That sounds fun.
So good. I'm very excited. But we always make like so many. Me and my mom spend like a whole day like baking them and like doing the dough. Like we usually spend like 2 days, one day just doing the doughs and like letting them rest overnight, and the next day just baking them all. Mm-hmm. It's literally one of my favorite things. I love it. I'm so excited. What else do I do? Oh, we always go see Christmas lights. We always drive around. We go get Chinese.
Yeah.
Well, so
Bus. I love Chinese.
There's like a collection of things. We usually always do Chinese food on Christmas Eve. I don't know why, but we always get Chinese takeout on Christmas Eve. And we sleep at my parents' house, like with my aunt, but everybody sleeps in like the same spot. So like my aunt always sleep on an air mattress next to my bed, even though there's enough room for her to just sleep in my bed. But it's not the same.
No, it's not.
We used to growing up, we would do matching Christmas pajamas, or like the elf on the shelf would bring us Christmas pajamas.
Of course.
Since then, we now just dress festively because we have so many pairs of them. It's just like becoming a point. So for Christmas, we do this thing where instead of like your traditional Christmas dinner, which is like very similar to Thanksgiving usually, we do Christmas from around the world. So we pick a different place from around the world each year, and we make food like to that thing.
What's this year?
This year I think we're doing Caribbean.
Ooh, buzz.
I need to check back on that actually, or maybe. So in the past we've done we've done Italian Christmas, Mexican Christmas. We've done Southern Christmas. We did like fried green tomatoes,
bus.
you know, We have done an English Christmas. So we did like the
beans on toast.
the Yorkshire pudding. We did a beef Wellington and like all the things. So very, very, very excited about that. It's actually one of my favorite traditions we have on the whole. We always watch Harry Potter, all 8 movies in one sitting. We always go look at Christmas lights and we get Starbucks hot chocolate before. I don't really know why, but it's just our thing. And then something else we do is secret stocking. So instead of Santa filling our stockings, because Santa is very much still alive in our household.
Well, yes, he didn't die.
Well, yeah.
He's just in the North Pole. He's like getting ready for Christmas.
I know he comes in our chimney every year, and he
does
continue to
what
do so.
In your chimney?
Goes down on that thing.
Woo! Dang, Santa.
Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho.
He's had a dry year, y'all.
He's there, light the pole, turn on the lights, I'm coming to town.
Anyway.
I can't. We draw names for like Secret Santa, but it's secret stocking, and then you fill the other person's stocking.
Wait, that's cute. So then everybody's stocking is
yes,
filled.
and so we do it. We open those on Christmas Eve,
and
then on Christmas Day we'll do like the tree presents and the Santa gifts and blah blah blah. And we also always get these Christmas tree cinnamon rolls.
Ooh, bus.
From this one bakery. Best cinnamon rolls I've ever had in my whole life. I'm not even a huge cinnamon roll person. I would literally like fight someone for these. And also they do like Christmas tree shaped rolls. Like the roll. And then I always make these biscuits, but there's so much butter that it seeps out the bottom of the pan.
Buzz.
Buzz. Very, very, very excited for all that. As you can tell, it's usually food.
I love food.
Whatever. See if I can.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does Santa wrap your presents?
Santa does wrap our presents.
Really? How many presents does Santa like bring you? Like, is it like Santa brings like 2?
It's kind of ebbed and flowed over the years.
Right.
As Santa has become more reliant on my parents providing gifts,
right,
with the love and care and seasonal flavors of Santa attached. But usually Santa will get us like our big gift, and then like things like a loofah, and we always get like
a loofah.
We always get a calendar every year for Christmas, and so sometimes Santa brings a calendar, like a wall calendar, and sometimes my parents do candies and like a small gift. So it's like it's more of like stocking stuffers kind of vibe, and then like our big gift, and then like sometimes like a just a random like other gift. But our big gift is usually what we want the most. Like from Santa. Right. And then we do the stocking stuffers, and then usually like everyone buys each other a gift, and then my parents get me and my brothers like more stuff. So
right.
Yeah. 'Tis the season.
It is.
La, la, la.
My traditions, I usually throw a Christmas party every year for like everyone. Like I invite everyone, and my family invites everyone they know, which we know the same people, so whatever.
Right.
But I don't know if I'm doing that this year, just because like low-key maybe I want to have a chill Christmas. Like I want to do like some smaller Christmas gatherings instead of one big one. So I can focus on my individual
focus
people.
on yourself.
Right.
Give your full undivided attention to everyone.
I also do the cookie making thing.
Yes.
Now this year is going to be tea because it's my first Christmas without my grandmother, so I have to carry on the tradition and make all the cookies that she would make. So we'll be making gingerbread man, and those green Christmas tree cookies?
Yes.
Yes, I have one of those.
The stamps.
Yeah. I have one of those, and so I'll be making those, and oatmeal raisin, of course, and I love to do a double doozy. How do you feel about that? You don't like icing, do you?
I don't like icing on cookies. I don't love.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
So doing that, and then Christmas Eve we have a sleepover, and then we like do the cake thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Christmas Eve is kind of just chill around the house, maybe bake some stuff. We don't open any presents on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning we wake up. We used to wake up really early, obviously, but now my mom's always sitting in the living room with her cup of coffee already ready to go.
Yep.
And we're like, because we like to sleep in these days. But then we'll go and wake up my dad because he's still in the bed. Yeah. And then we're not allowed to go into the living room before anyone wakes up. So I'll usually go and lay in Clea's bed with them. Yeah. And we used to try and look down the hallway to see if we could see what Santa brought us, but we couldn't. We just pace back and forth in the hallway, just back and forth.
I really have to go to the bathroom again.
But then we'll go out there and we'll see what Santa brought, and Santa doesn't wrap our presents.
Okay.
But our like when you walk down the hallway, which is like 2 feet long, the tree, like our Christmas tree is like in the living room, like, and the couch is moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another couch, like the little corner couch thingy right here. And then Santa puts Cleo's presents on the corner couch here, and my presents are on the little sectional over here.
Yes.
And they're like all displayed very nicely, and Santa gets us a lot of things. Like last year I got like some shoes and my banjo and clothes and books and candy and makeup and all this stuff. Yeah. And then Santa is also the one that fills our stockings with more candy and makeup and all, like, I don't know, random stuff that Santa finds at like World Market and all that stuff. So
I thought the elves make at the North Pole.
Oh yeah, no, and the elves actually, they stock the stores so that Santa can go ahead and pick out like what he likes from the shelves.
Yeah.
It's
like his own section.
Yeah, and then Santa gets my dad some Reese's Christmas trees in his stocking, and gets my mommy Coca-Cola in glass bottles.
Ooh, I got that one year for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what she asks for every year. And then we open like our presents to each other, and like we all get each other stuff, and then my parents obviously like get us like like more things like special things. And then we like open all our presents, we have our coffee, we play with our presents, we play for our toys that we get,
and we try on all our clothes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Also, Ratin has a stocking, so Ratin gets presents.
Oh my goodness, crying.
Yes, so nasty.
That is so
nasty.
Yummy.
Yes, and then we have like this thing called a Kringle for breakfast. It's like from Trader Joe's. It's like a pastry instead of a circle. It's so bus. But then we go over to Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay, I know you listen to this. We go over to Lindsay's house and eat like brunch-ish with her and her husband and their little kid, and we just eat brunch and be merry, I guess. And then we come back home and play with our presents again and read books and usually watch a movie. This year, the second part of Stranger Things is coming out on Christmas, so I will be tuning into that. My mom is not excited about that because it's not a very Christmassy activity. But did you watch the first half? Have you watched Stranger Things?
Not at all.
Oh my golly. Well, I haven't. I am obsessed, and there are so many conspiracy theories because this is the last season ever. So it's like TT.
How they're gonna wrap it all up.
Right. Anyway, so those are my traditions. There are a lot more, like food that we eat. Like we make rice pudding. That's for my dad's side of the family's Christmas. Like when we go, my grandmother would always make rice pudding. But in the last few years, she wasn't able to, so I was the guy that made rice pudding. Yeah. Which I love rice pudding. It's so bust. Have you ever had it?
Ish. Like, not, like, proper, like, rice pudding, but, like, someone's like, oh, there's rice pudding over
there's
there.
Different, like, genres of rice pudding, obviously, like, because rice pudding is, like, a thing in, like, Indian cultures.
I love it, though.
Right, it's bust. But ours is, like, kind of different. It's also an Italian thing. But ours is, we're Danish, so my grandparents are Danish. So ours is, like, a little bit of a different vibe of rice pudding, but it's bust. Anyway, that's what our traditions are. I think that's everything. Well, I mean, not everything, but like the classics.
One thing we always do too is we always sit at the top of the stairs, and so my grandma would usually come over, my great aunt, my aunt, and my parents. But this year it's just my mom, my dad, and my aunt. But they always sit downstairs. We always have to agree upon the time, which luckily gets pushed later and later every year.
Yes.
But so it's usually around like the 9:30 though, and then my aunt and my parents always sit downstairs, and then they record us coming down the staircase, and we always have to sit on the staircase. And then my aunt, as soon as we finish opening presents, goes back to bed for a few hours.
That is funny.
But yes, tons of
fun. Also, we're at 18 minutes, so.
And like.
Well, okay, I'm just saying.
We can skedaddle on along though to our main section, which is the semester dump and next semester.
Woo!
This semester, like, it's,
a lot.
It's a lot. But, so, obviously, I've only had 3 semesters here. So, Julia has a lot more on than I do.
Oh, because I'm unk.
Because you're old and gray and frail. No, you're just
that's how
experienced. I've, like, skipped through a lot of it. So, I just kind of, like, came in a lot farther along, which is for better or for worse. But in my 3 semesters, I think I would rate this probably my best semester.
I love
that. So this would be my number 1. My last semester, my spring one, was number 2, and then fall semester of last year was number 3, and it'll probably always stay down there.
Yeah.
This semester has just been so freaking exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, all of my classes and a lot of work and, like, just, like, new friends and people I'm meeting and, like, way that I'm divvying up my time. And, like, I'm a lot closer with people this semester than I have ever been. And so, like, my social life is so completely different. And for better. It's just...
and for better. For better.
It's for worse. I have a podcast. I have to hang out with this person.
Right.
Kidding.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
So it's just been filled with a lot more support, but it's also been, like, I've needed more support. Because this year has just been so much. Like, I genuinely feel like I've lived 4 lives. Like, the fact that this year is not done. Like, like I still have to do another semester in, like, a month. Like, I'm already upset about it. Like, I'm already looking forward to summer break, and I haven't even started winter break yet. Like,
next semester.
Yes. I keep spelling semester wrong on our Google Doc where we plan things out, and it just looks like Smeester.
Smeester.
And I can't. Next semester, in terms of, like, classes and, like, the overall setup, I'm taking less classes, and almost all of them are online. I think I only have, like, 1 class that's actually in person and 1 class that's, like, half in person, half virtual.
Oh, we're taking that together.
Yeah, and the rest of them are online.
Which is low-key going to be really nice for scheduling.
I'm so excited because that means I'll be done with work and classes by, like, 3 p.m. every single day. And I have no class and no work. The way that I have it scheduled up right now on Fridays. So, like, I have no responsibilities at all on Fridays. And I'm so freaking excited. Yeah, like, I already, like, I feel better. I feel free. I feel, like, alive. I, like, cannot wait for that freaking semester. As of now, my body's, like, twitching over here. Yeah.
Right.
What's your starting point recap?
I would say this semester has also been a lot because I'm, like, I don't know. I mean, I had this job. Not this job, but I had the media consulting job last year, so, like, that's fine. But I feel like we're all more invested. Well, most of us are more invested this year.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just different. It's more like we skipped. I feel like most of last fall was just, like, because we obviously also came in like, October.
Right.
So we, the timeline was a little weird. But, like, we were still kind of figuring things out by the time we got to winter break.
Right.
Like, we hit winter break, and I think I had sold, like, maybe 1 thing. But I don't think I had done, like, much of anything, like, of note.
Yeah.
And I had spent most of that semester just, like, looking at clients and, like only working, like, 8 hours a week. Like, like, I just didn't really do a whole lot. And now it's, like, we're so far past that. Like, I'm already planning stuff for next fall. Yeah. And this fall isn't even over. Or, well, this fall semester anyways. Like, there's semester. Just, semester. So it's just, like, it's so different.
And, like, also, there's, like, tea with, like, student media and, like, losing funding and stuff. So we're, like, we're, like, doing all this brainstorming and trying out new products and new ideas, which I love. I love being creative and project managing type stuff. So it's, like, fuels my soul. But, like, also it's, like, more work and more, like, brain power, I guess. Because, like,
so much.
It's easy to, like, send out email. Like, it's, like, boring and tedious, but also it's easy because you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
But, like, when you actually have to think about things, it's like, oh my gosh.
I leave work with a headache every single day.
And yes, but I love it. Like, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, so that job, yes. This job is not, like, a horrific waste of time because it's not that much time each week, and I love doing it. And, like, I don't know. I feel like we could be pretty successful with this.
No, I agree. It's very, like, I don't even really have to think. Like, this is the job that I, like, look forward to and enjoy because it's, like, me just being myself. Like, my job includes coming, talking about my life, making sure the sound is good, and then, like, posting an Instagram story. Like, I can handle that.
Right.
Obviously, we have a lot of stuff planned, which we'll talk about soon, later in this episode. So stay tuned.
Y'all.
We have a lot of projects that we just haven't been able to talk about that we've been developing. I think as YouTubers.
Yes.
We have a lot of stuff coming next semester, which again we'll talk about in a second. That we've been having to work for, and it'll initially be a lot of work for us because we'll just have to play a lot of catch up. Yeah. Because we're gone, like we can't use the break to like do stuff because obviously you live far away.
But we can plan. We can plan.
Etc. Etc. But like this, I love this job. Like
yes,
it's so beautiful.
This is a good job. And then my youth ministry job, I do enjoy that job. I love those kids. It's fun. Like, I just go to work and I have fun. Like, it's like, I don't know. And I get fed, and then I get to take home leftovers sometimes. Like, it's lit. Right. And I get paid. Hello. And I get to go ski.
Sorry.
Hello. Pumpkin.
Good. Someone yelled that in the bathroom the other day.
Yeah.
It was just pumpkin. I was like, oh my god.
Hello.
Like echoed. Oh my god. It was like 3 a.m. in my apartment, dead silent, dead quiet. Like everyone's asleep, not a mouse to be seen or whatever the quote is. And pumpkin. I just hear like from afar. I was like,
hello. Hello.
Like just outside, you heard absolutely nothing. A horn starts like wailing, like someone's like banging on their car horn, and then all of a sudden someone just screams pumpkin, and I was like, okay.
Anyway,
I love college. Anyhow, sorry. Next semester.
What was I saying?
Pumpkin. Your youth ministry job you love. It's very chill.
I love that job, yes, and I get to go skiing with them. Like I get to go on trips with them for free. So
yes, and
I get to hang out with them. Like it's like because they're just like my friends. Like I just talk to them the way I talk to my friends. Those are my girls. My girls. Anyway, next semester I'm taking. I feel like maybe the same amount of classes that I'm taking. No, because I'm not taking a dance class. Not that took much brain power because it didn't. I just had to get there at 8:30.
Right.
Which that takes body power, and I don't have much of that.
Act itself. Yeah.
But I also have a similar situation. Like I'm not taking as many in person. I have like 2 that are like fully online, and then one that's the one that you're taking that's like half and half, and then 2 or 3 that are like in person. But they're only the interesting classes are in person, which I'm lit about. The boring ones are the ones that are online. And I was like, okay, wait, why is this perfect? So there's that, and then I'll be working all the same jobs next semester and doing Contra Club stuff. But I kind of have it, like, we're getting it figured out. Like, we're getting into a routine of it.
Yeah,
like,
and we're not playing as much catch up anymore. We're at the point where we're profiting at this, and then we're like, we're like at a clean slate.
And things are good. Like, we are kind of building a support system within the group, like within the like Contra community. Like it's slaying. We've had a very like warm reception from everyone, so it's been great. It's been great. Anyway, and then for PCM, I will be hopefully assuming a leadership position. Like, well, I already have one, but like a more
definite,
a more leadership position. Like the one that I'm doing now is like PR and digital content stuff, which is like fine. I can do that like anytime. But like
you're more like managing. And, like,
I'm gonna be like leading, which I'm excited about. It's like it's been a lot of like emotional labor for me to get us to this point that we can have like student led stuff. Mm-hmm. There's like a whole lot of tea that goes into it, but it makes me happy to be able to like see my friends and recognize what talents they have and what strengths they have, and be able to be like, you would be good at leading this group. And like there's some people that just don't want to lead and like wouldn't be great at it, and it's not because they're not like good leaders or like good people or good leaders. It's just like that's not what our group dynamic needs at this time.
Yeah.
But, like there are people that I know that Blake will be a good leader, and he's passionate about it, and also he's a freshman, so he can keep it going. But like because I only have one more year after this. But anyway, I'll be doing that, which will take up some time, but I will give all the time that it takes to do that. But I'm like doing less like trips on the weekends next semester, I feel, because like less holidays and events and stuff. So I will have more weekends to be able to do stuff, which I'm so lit about.
Yes. I am hoping next semester, I feel like I say this kind of every single time that like a new period of time is starting, but I really hope that next semester I take more time to like explore Raleigh.
Yes.
Or like just do things like I really want to get in a habit of going to the farmers market every week.
I love that.
Like I really want to get in the habit of going to like sitting at like obviously that requires money, so like these few things, so you know this is with caution, but like even if it was like every single like first Saturday of the month, like I went to a coffee shop, like like there's just so many places and I want to try, like I want to get better at like going places to go do homework and stuff. Again, that requires transportation, so this is with this could be a change,
community support,
right? Yes. But I just like I just want to spend more time with myself and like doing things for myself, but also with people. Like I want to bring back our Indian nights with Sex in the City. I want to bring that back. Like there's like this Chinese restaurant that I tried the other day that was so good.
Is it the
and
one in Hillsborough?
So cheap. Yeah, Golden Dragon. Mm-hmm. Girl, tell me what, I spent $10 and I had like 3 dinners worth of food. Like
buzz.
Like it's crazy. I need to get you over there.
I'll get over there.
So that's what I really want to like take more time to do.
I like that.
So next semester, looking forward to, in terms of the podcast, we have a lot of projects coming.
Yes.
One of which being the rebrand. That's what we said. Or that's what we Right.
That's what we said. That's what we said.
Changing our entire podcast name now. That's what they said. We have some photo shoots in the works.
Well, we have concepts.
Photo shoots. We have things in the works.
It's true.
A new podcast cover.
Yeah, I'll work on that. Don't worry.
Some new content photos.
Yeah, we just want to the vibe of the album cover that we have currently does not match the vibe of the vibe that we have going on here.
I think it was also hard too because we couldn't figure out the vibe until we were in it. We had no idea what it was going to be until obviously we were 10 episodes deep.
Right.
And
now we know what the vibe
now
is.
And it's not
what we thought,
which is fine.
And that is okay.
Right. It's just we need to adapt to it and change.
Right.
So we have a new cover coming. We have some new content photos coming. We're going to start incorporating on-campus interviews.
I'm so excited for that.
With people. We want to get some more guests on the podcast.
I like people.
Well. We're gonna start scheduling things ahead of time. There will be, unfortunately, no episodes over the break. We were trying really hard to make it happen, but the scheduling of it just didn't work out the way that we wanted it to.
Because shocker, we don't have any time.
Right, I don't think people realize we were filming at 7 a.m. some days.
That's why we sounded like, hey guys, because it was 7 a.m.
There were days where there's a day where we filmed 2 episodes back to back.
That was not a good idea,
even in the slightest.
I was so
that second
bored.
episode was not good in the slightest. No. It was fine. We're gonna get back on our social media grind. We low-key neither of us posted for the episode last week on the podcast.
Because I forgot. I forgot that it was Friday. I didn't know what was going on.
We still got people to listen to it though.
Yeah, I was looking at the analytics. I made my mom listen to it while we decorated the Christmas tree.
Love it. So we're gonna get back on the grind with that.
I want to post more stuff on our Instagram. It's what if I did a midweek personal podcast? It was just a reel of me talking about stuff.
Get ready with me.
A get ready with me. Yeah, but it's just a midweek check in. You know, I think that would be fun and it would be kind of easy. So, and I talk all the time anyway. So just turn the camera on as well.
Yeah, right. Something else that we're super excited about. There's not a set date for this yet, but
I have laid eyes and hands on
the equipment.
Yes,
that is going to be for video podcast episodes,
which we have had requests for this. We have had people say they will watch or listen when we actually have video, and I get that.
We are so excited. This is actually part of the reason we started the podcast on the whole.
Right.
But we will be able to have the episodes will be recorded and put on YouTube. So actual the full entire things will be able to watch.
And you'll get to stare at our pretty faces the whole time.
Yes, of course. And we can finally I think having the actions, the hand movements and all that.
It adds, let me tell you.
Yeah, there's more
I will have to
low-key
low-key lock in because I be doing this all the time and I can't be doing it on YouTube.
Right. I also will have to, you don't see it, but when we're filming this, we are sitting in the most craziest positions.
I currently look like my leg is broken now that I look at it. It's giving...
Yeah. I'm currently hunched back and I also have a sweatshirt, not on, but just on my arms.
I was wondering what we were doing there.
Well, just my arms were cold.
Right.
Not my full body.
And
Or not my chest. And so I get hot if I wear the whole thing, but my hands and my arms were cold.
Well, naturally.
But obviously I'm not going to be pulling out to our millions of viewers. Julia's taking a photo of me.
Yes.
Looking like this, and also sometimes you catch we're filming on hair wash day, and it's not hair wash day with dry shampoo. It's hair wash day, but my hair has been in a bun for 2 days. I haven't done laundry in a week, and that I need to save some dignity for that.
It's true.
But all that to say is we're super excited because there will be video podcasts coming, so there'll be a lot more clips and teaser things, and there's still some stuff we need to work out on the technicality side and getting the equipment set up.
It's true.
But very, 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 very,
it will be
excited.
I'm excited.
So good.
It is. I'm interested to see how it will actually look because I have a vision in my mind of how it will. But also, obviously, this room is not what the vision in my mind is telling me.
Right.
But also, were you in the office when Jamie said she got portable equipment
yes.
because technician thought our studio is ugly? Oh, okay.
Well, that is so funny.
Right. And I was like, so that's interesting, seeing as they don't have a freaking studio. So actually don't tell us ours is ugly when you don't even have one.
Got him.
But anyway, so we could low-key film in a cute place.
A coffee shop.
Well, I don't actually know if I would want to film in a coffee shop.
No, I was maybe an outdoor garden.
The face. or literally in your apartment on the couch. It's just something
that would be so fun.
I think it would be fun as well. Or if we could be
in
cozy with a blanket. I would do that so quick.
That is so funny.
Love.
We'll do a mukbang.
Yes.
Mukbang and pod.
Oh my god, we could take them along for our Sex in the City and Indian
I
nights.
can't.
Oh my
that
god.
sounds so good. I've been binging that actually the past couple days.
You texted me that and I forgot to respond, but I'm so excited for you. What?
Julia didn't respond to me like all break. I
I'm
kept
sorry.
texting her and then wouldn't respond to the next day, and I was like, oh, she
I was
hates
low-key
me.
in the trenches, so
I was trying to help. I like rah.
Yes, I know.
But I'm almost done with season 2.
Woo! I love.
Very excited about that.
Oh my gosh. I am saving my next rewatch for when I really need it. Like when I really need that boost of life will be okay. I have to save it because if I use it now, then when I really need it won't be there. You know?
I also feel like we have a lot of movies queued up that we said we were gonna watch and haven't.
That's because we never have freaking time.
Well, this is true. I over the course of this weekend watched 5 movies.
Ooh, what did you watch?
Need you to know that I haven't watched a movie in at least 6 months. This is
true. You don't really do
I
that.
don't really watch TV or movies. I watched 6 in one day or 2.
What were they?
I watched Zootopia 2.
Oh,
I went to go see that in theaters.
I cannot wait to see that.
Willy Wonka, but I watched the first one, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from 1960 or whatever.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah.
I watched that. I watched Howl's Moving Castle.
Ooh, yes.
Really good actually.
Yeah.
Same people who did Ponyo.
It's so cute.
I freaking love Ponyo. I actually love that movie. Howl's Moving Castle. I'm gonna probably watch it again, low key. I watched Jason Bourne.
Oh yeah.
I watched.
You watched that?
I did. I watched the first Jason Bourne movie. The Muppet movie.
Right.
I did watch that as well. Oh my gosh, there was another movie that I watched and I can't think of the name of it.
I got to go to the theater and see Wicked for Good.
I saw your post about that. I loved the
so
fit.
good. I sobbed.
Oh.
You could hear all my friends were sitting in a row and you could just hear sniffing on either side, everybody. And we walked out and everybody was like, yeah, it was so good. And I posted those pictures and I had so many people like them or swipe up and be like, it was so good. And I was like, It was actually insanely good.
It was. Zootopia 2 is actually really good.
I want to see it.
It's so good. It's actually so funny. They make so many jokes, so many references to the first movie and innuendos, Easter eggs,
yeah.
It was really good actually. I told Julia I liked it better than the first movie.
Jeez.
I can't even lie.
Maybe I'll watch that tonight. I have not watched the first one in a long time.
Yeah, I should have, but I didn't. Also, I did watch the NC State versus UNC game, and we won. Go back. I tried to put that out there.
I was texting everyone I knew that went to UNC and was like, so
you suck. You're awful.
You're awful. And then they pretend they don't care and it doesn't mean anything. But I'm like, it's just because you freaking lose every year.
I know for a fact if the score was reversed,
they would.
By the way, 41 to 19.
That's embarrassing. Against Bill Belichick, we ate that. Yeah.
Anyhow, that really sat right with me. Where are we at on time?
37 minutes, so let's go get into that old notes app.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Notes app. We need to we should edit the videos to have a card or a jingle that plays for each segment. I think that's so funny.
We can sing it.
Yes,
is what we can do.
Well, I feel at this point we need to at the end of in a year we should do a compilation because we sing every single episode.
This is true.
Every single one.
I just sing when I talk all the time.
Well, that too.
I when I walked in the office this morning and she was like, good morning, and I was like, good morning. I don't even know why I do that.
No, my problem is I do it too with people that don't know me that well. And so I was driving with someone the other day and I was like, and I need to make a left here. And they were like, okay. I was like, I forgot where I was.
It's just I love doing that because see, my friend Lindsay pointed it out. She texted me and she texted me and my mom and she was like, I just realized that all the singing that Jules does in the episode is because Wendy does it, and my mom sings everything. So that's why, and that didn't even clock to me until she texted me that, and I was like, wait, you're so right. I sing because my mommy sings everything. My mommy has an opera voice that is like,
she does. I love it.
Yeah.
Shout out Mama Larson.
Mommy.
She's a real one.
Anyway, notes app.
Yes.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
First of all, these two things. Well, these aren't actually related. But when you wear your hair down and you're wearing a sweater, does it get matted?
Yeah.
And that's really annoying to me because I will reach up to play with my hair and it's just a mat and my nails won't move through it. And I'm like, this is not aligning with who I am. I am not one who would have matted hair, but yet I do.
I am now. I always have to do I recently learned that I can pull off straight hair with a sweater. Like,
Okay.
when I straighten it and like brush through it, like it chills a little bit. It doesn't matter as much. Or I have to do the messy bun.
Yeah, I do a lot of messy buns in the winter, but that makes me annoyed because I like my hair long and slay. And like another thing that we were talking about today is like sweaters like are not slimming, which is like not that I like need to look slim, but we were talking about how they aren't for really curvy girls because they like hit my hips, which is like the widest part of my body, but my waist is like
it's covered, so it looks like a block versus like a slim thick.
Because my waist is pretty slim, so like it like I have very curvy figure, but you can't tell when I'm wearing a sweater, and it really annoys me and it makes me insecure, and then I feel like I'm ugly all winter. Yeah, does that sit right? And then
that's it.
And then because I'm wearing a sweater, I have to put my hair up in a bun, so it's like bun and blob and
the slick back, and then also wearing a sweater. But then
I'm pale.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And also like, because I have a chest, it makes me look pregnant, and so I have to wear like the most like tightening bra that I can find, so that it makes me look a little more slim.
But then I love like my chest is like one of my favorite like things to show off, right? And but then I can't in the winter, and then I'm like, I'm so nasty and disgusting in a bad way.
And it's also like the first 2 minutes after you come inside after being outside where it's cold, and you're like sweating around like.
Oh my gosh.
Just like where your wrists and your neck is, like where you had the sweater.
My feet were sweating today. Yeah. I said, all right.
I was like, what am I even supposed to do about that? Like, what?
It annoys me.
That makes me mad.
So yeah, and that really adds to the seasonal depression when I feel ugly all winter. Anyway, next is men and babies. This is just something that came up. Right. Very related. This is just something that came up this morning because I was sitting on the second floor of Witherspoon studying, as one does. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I was writing a paper and then doing a crossword. And some Sudoku. But
studying.
Right. There was a little tiny baby down the hallway, and it was so cute and nasty. And I wanted to hold it, but it was crying because it was tired and it wanted to go to sleep. I feel that way too. But there was a man sitting next to me, and he got there, and he was there for a grand total of 5 minutes before he could not stand the crying of that baby and left. And I was like, you weakling. I know that when you're a father, you're going to be like, I can't do, like, this is it's so annoying. Like, grow up. It's not that bad. I can see you about to disagree.
No, I was about to say something that's always bewildered me.
Okay,
is the
go
fact
ahead.
that there's never changing tables in the men's bathroom.
How about that? That's the patriarchy, folks. And I could talk about this for freaking hours. And everybody that knows me knows that. And when I get set off on this topic, I will talk about it for hours. Like, that's what all my papers are about these days. Like, if you, I cannot stand that the patriarchy is so institutionalized, but men never can recognize it. Like, when I point out something, they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, what? Like, if I pointed out, like, oh, there's no changing tables in the men's bathroom, they were like, oh yeah, like I never noticed that, because that is the way they grew up and they think that's right. They think that's correct. And I'm like, one of my worst fears in life is when I'm a mom and I have my babies, is that whenever my husband watches them, it's going to be babysitting, or like he won't want to change a diaper, or he won't get up in the middle of the night. Like when I am a mom, I will also be a wife, because I can't. But if my significant other, and if they are a man, if my husband is not like the most devoted father and husband there is, he will no longer be my husband.
Well, then we're not having kids.
Right.
Like, but the background screening that like, it's like when you apply for a job and they have to look into
background check screenings.
Birthday,
I need like
a urine analysis. I need I need a letter from your parents. I need
the requirements. There are a lot. Like, I need, like, have you ever heard the concept of like, if a man wants, like, a man will say, I want a wife and kids, but he won't say, I want to be a father and a husband. How about that? How about that? Because you don't want to assume the responsibility, and you don't want to be a devoted father or husband to your wife and kids. You just want to be able to say, I have this hot trophy wife and these kids that like worship me. But you don't want to do any of the work that comes with that.
You want to cross the item off the bucket list, but not actually.
Yes, and I genuinely have spit coming out of my mouth right now talking about this, because I'm getting very heated, and No, it's okay. I just like really needed to share that, and that is something that like is actually my worst nightmare, is that my husband is not
a father.
Right, and he's not as like fully passionate about being a father as I am about being a mother, because there's nothing more that I want in this world than to be a loving mother and a loving wife, but I will not do that to a mediocre man.
Oh, absolutely not.
Anyway, I just had to share that.
On the same vein of that,
anyway,
I was thinking the other day, like, how I would do so much to put a baby with a puppy. Like, dog.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Like, I'm the most stereotypical woman in that the sense of, like, every time there's I do watch baby puppy compilations.
Oh,
like,
yeah. And
I
kittens,
think it's so
I love when the cat
funny.
like jumps into their crib and snuggles up with it.
Or it's like the dog that, like, grabs a blanket for the crying baby.
Wait,
I'm
can
like,
you imagine? Can you imagine Rotten with
I'm
my
crying.
baby?
Stop.
Oh,
I'm literally done.
Oh,
Like,
Ratty, because Ratty is my baby, so she will be a little
Your
jealous.
firstborn.
She'll be a little jealous at first.
Yeah.
Did you see that I posted on my spam like a while ago a picture of like an ultrasound and I put Rotten in it?
Yes.
It was like for Mother's Day and I was like happy like Mother's Day to the one that made me a mom.
Yeah. I love that. That was always so funny to me when people do that.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
my 2 notes apps that I wanted to touch on today. First of all, something that's been really grinding my gears lately is I don't know what is up with my dryer, but for like there's like these 3 pairs of pants I have, like yoga pants, that collect every single piece of lint that has ever existed on the planet. And I kid you not, I had to lint roll myself yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago, because I like put on my pants and I was just like, they were literally a different color because there was so much fuzz on them.
Wait, do you know those dryer balls?
Yes.
Those balls. I used to use those and they kind of work.
I feel like they kind of work, but also at the same time, the dryer ball is like of the similar material that the lint is.
But
so
that's what like it kind of picks it up. I think that's the whole point. Is it like
right.
The lint just comes to it.
Yeah, but then also at the same time, because it's the same material, the lint gives back.
No, it's like lint is coming off, but it's like kind of getting some of the lint. So it's kind of like a give and take situation.
It's just like it's been really getting me. I don't know why it's like those same 2 pairs of pants, but I'm like, I look like I like rolled in like pet hair before I like walked out this morning.
Not solve this problem? Like there's got to be some sort of product, and you know what it is? It's because women are expected to do laundry, and there's nobody, no inventor cares enough about women to fix the problem of the lint. They're just like, oh, they don't mind dealing with the extra problem of freaking lint rolling pants every day. It's because they don't care.
I read about the creator of spandex the other day. It's a woman.
I
sure you're
love
shocked
spandex.
to hear that. But it was, or like the slimming wear too, like slimming underwear or whatever. That's also a woman who made that.
Like when you're wearing like a fitted dress and you're like, oh my god, I look so ugly, and then you put one of those on, and you're like, wait, I am the most beautiful creature on this planet. Hello?
It's always the belly button divot too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I like sometimes I'm like, why does my belly button look like it's actually 7 yards long? Like I don't understand. Like why? Like what?
Yes.
Like it's not. Like it's literally fine. Oh my god, I'm like screaming. Like the mic is like
no, it's okay.
Out. But like I don't understand why like. And it also creates like a line around my whole body. I'm like, okay, so suddenly everybody is able to identify where my umbilical cord was attached.
Yes, and one thing about the spandex though is that sometimes it makes my butt really flat.
Yeah.
So you have to get the ones that like are like like they're
really
compressing
up there,
or like they're compressing everywhere except like they have like loose. Or okay, and another thing that I don't love about some spandex brands, probably the ones made by men, is that when they like
sit and it rolls down.
Yes, it rolls down, or it creates a very evident
distinct.
Like a what do they call it? A muffin top?
Yeah, like
but it's
pooch,
like it's an insane, and it goes all the way around my body. It's actually in my back as well.
Well, and what sucks about it is because it's such a tightening material, it like tightens into those like crevices.
And it makes it worse.
I'm like, okay,
isn't that the opposite?
Right.
Like, I need like a full body like skin colored like
I have
maybe an invisible one.
It's ridiculous, like a literal latex. Like, I'm just gonna like
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
But I can't. Anyhow, it's just was bothering me that I was having to lint roll myself the other day before walking out the door. I was like, it's 9 a.m. and I already look like I've gone through war. Like I don't need that.
Yeah. Another winter uglies situation.
Something else, or my second thing that I had was the advent calendar debate. I need to like calm down.
Because your mommy gave you an advent calendar.
I do have an advent calendar.
I have a chocolate one.
I need to open mine.
You haven't opened? It's day one.
I know. I'm gonna do. There's a whole thing to it. Just the whole thing with people buying them and opening them all in one day, to get all the products,
that is so annoying.
Day by day. That was my debate.
Day by day.
Day by day.
That's what it's that's the whole point, is that like it leads up to Christmas. And then
Merry
you have
Christmas.
all these products that you can use on Christmas Day, and it's time to open all these other presents. Why would you open it all in one? That's not even the point of an advent calendar. Just buy it all freaking and wrap it. Like it's not. Yeah, like it's not an advent. Have you seen? Sorry.
Wow, you're getting choked up about this.
Have you seen those advent calendars? No. Those things where people like. It's like for my 16th birthday, my mom bought me 16 presents. That is so cute, and I love that because it like makes the celebration last longer, and it's like you are worth celebrating.
Right? Yeah, I love that kind of thing. Speaking of like Christmas things, we had this in our like Christmas plan sections, but I actually like low-key want to touch on this.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of people respond to when we did this for the Halloween episode. It's like favorite Christmas movies.
Hold on, pause.
And
I have to
songs. Okay. All right.
Okay, continue.
That's fine, I guess. Favorite Christmas movies and songs.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So
you said your song was controversial. What is it?
It is. It's Baby It's Cold Outside.
I love that song.
And
I feel like it's okay for us to say because we're women.
Well, right. Well, there's also versions where the men do it, like it's backwards, or like they do like the different, like the different takes. Because there's obviously the one too where they're like the woman's into it, or like there's one where like they're both not, or whatever.
Right.
And there's like a bunch of parodies on it, but it's one of my favorites actually. Not because of like the whole like I just hit the table.
It's okay.
Not because of like I'm not trying to like start a fight every single time I say it and be like the men these days. Like I just like the musicality of it.
No, it's like fun to sing.
Yeah, I also really, for no reason at all, like the Snowman one by Sia. She's like, Mr. Cold.
She's singing in cursive. I love singing that.
Yeah, I just like, come on,
let's go.
I
love that song. Well, because on TikTok they do that. The couples always do that dance, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh, someday that's gonna be me.
Right, and they also do the trend where you try to do like that whole line with one breath.
Yes.
And
I can do that.
Yeah,
because that requires a single person, and I can do that.
I can do that. But that's my favorite song, and it's kind of a hot take, and I'm okay with that. I just really like it.
No, I like that song. I like my favorite Christmas songs are like the old ones, or like the jazz, like because I listen to a lot of jazz, like the jazz Christmas songs. I love like a Dean Martin Christmas or like a Frank Sinatra Christmas.
Yes.
Oh Lord, that is buzz.
I love that.
Anyway, favorite Christmas movie?
So mine is a little underground.
Oh.
It's The Year Without Santa Claus. It's like
I don't know that.
Exactly. It's like a claymation thing, but it's also like,
you told me about this.
Yes, and it's also like the animated like Rudolph or whatever it is, but it's like a specific one. Hold on, wait. I'm Googling it to show.
Okay.
Because I think some people know what it is if you show them like
a picture
of it.
If you show me a picture, I might know.
They don't really know what it is. It's this.
Right.
And it's the one with like the heat miser and like so the one that has like there's a couple different like it's one of those movies where you can watch like it's almost like episodes but it's a movie. Like it's almost like a TV show.
Click on that Santa. Click on Santa.
Yeah.
That when I told Brady the other day at Thanksgiving dinner that his eyes look like Santa's, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm thinking. And he was right, his rosy cheeks too.
He has the rosy he
looks just like Santa. It's like if Kris Kringle was like hot in his younger years, that's Brady.
I'll text him that you said that.
I hope that he really enjoys that because I mean it truly. Like I sat and stared at him for an hour thinking that, but I didn't know if he would take it offensively. And I really couldn't tell if he did because he doesn't really ever give me anything. Yeah. You know? It slayed me.
I love him. He's my favorite.
He is silly.
He's such a nugget.
It's true.
I just want to pat him on the head all the time.
Yes.
But yes, it's the one with the heat miser. But there's like obviously different versions of it. But I love like it's like a puppet claymation almost animated film from like the 60s or 70s or something. Maybe I'm making that up.
I don't know if I've ever watched it, but I do know what you're talking about.
I watch it every year. It's my favorite. I don't know why, but I love it so much.
My favorite Christmas movie ever is Christmas with the Cranks. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Every year my whole family watches it together, like literally before I left for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or not when I left Thanksgiving, so yesterday. My mom was like, okay guys, remember you're not allowed to watch it until we all come home. We watch it together, okay? And I was like, okay girl, like we won't. It's really good. Anyway, I thought I had something else to say, but it was the Brady thing. I already said that 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm trying to think. Obviously, Elf is good. Polar Express is good.
Wait, I do have something to say. Is that I really want to get Warner's for lunch, and they close from 3 to 4, and it's $2.26.
Okay, so on that note, my other favorite Christmas movie is watching you follow our podcast or a podcast on Instagram at TWTS Pod. This has been such a great year of starting the podcast. I've had so much fun.
Me too.
And I hope everyone who listens has a fantastic holiday break. Hit us up. We want to talk to you.
Hit us up.
Not even just about the pod. Just like, let's get together. Let's chat. Yeah, make sure to follow us on the Instagram. Let us know of anything you want to talk about or your favorite episodes.
Because you know why? It's because we're here to tell you the truth.
Because they don't always get it right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Happy holidays.